Fallout from failed bid to launch LegCo probe into free TV licensing. One of the most powerful typhoons ever hits the Philippines, and British spy chief condemns Edward Snowden's leaks.
Good evening. Businessman Ricky Wong made clear today he would continue his pursuit of a free-to-air TV license. His comments came one day after lawmakers voted down the use of special LegCo powers to look into the dispute. Evelina Lung reports.
HKTV Chairman Ricky Wong attended the Legislative Council's Information Technology and Broadcasting Panel meeting today. Wong said he won't be giving up his pursuit of a free-to-air TV license.
Hong Kong people is lovely because Hong Kong people are determined and they're hardworking, and they have a high spirit that cannot be defeated. If we share the same dream, we have to pursue it. First of all, we have to take stock of reality and know what is in store, and then try to see the same thing from different perspectives, and then try to think out of the box. The book is written by Chief Executive C.Y. Leung.
Also present at the meeting was the representative of the HKTV Staff Union.
What I saw from the media report in the past 2 days, well, cable TV said that they may not make a profit. TVB, after their show, they said that there will be an increase in their price, 8 to 25% in their advertising rate. So, is it the kind of competition you would like to see?
But the government is standing firm.
Believe that we have to consider the overall sustainability of the free TV market, the overall sustainability and viability of the free TV market. It's not about whether an individual TV station will make money or lose money. Rather, we're looking at the overall environment. We want to make sure that as we introduce competition, we could enhance effectiveness, but at the same time, we want to minimize the negative impact on the free TV market.
So insisted the government is not the public's enemy, despite rejecting HKTV a license. Evelina Lang, TVB News.
Hong Kong has witnessed a decline in the number of smokers, which is good news for health authorities trying to get people to quit. But as Joao de Silva reports, a new government survey also shows more than half of smokers are still reluctant to quit.
The number of regular smokers in Hong Kong has been steadily declining over the past decades. And last year, according to data from the Census and Statistics Department, Hong Kong's smoking population reached an all-time low. Not only that, but those who do choose to smoke are also cutting down.
Our daily cigarette smoking prevalence has gradually decreased from 14.4% in 2002-03 to 11.1% in 2010, and further down to 10.7% as shown in the present report. This is coupled with a reduction of the amount of smoking from an average of 14 cigarettes per day in 2002-03 to 13 cigarettes per day.
But despite the declining smoking prevalence figures, survey results also show that more than half of daily smokers have never tried and are not planning to quit.
If we see this result, that means, over half of the smokers, either they are not very clear about the health hazards of smoking, or actually they do not have enough incentive to quit smoking.
To reverse this trend, health authorities will expand a program to get people to kick the habit. This will include a social marketing campaign targeting these stubborn smokers. On the bright side, close to 350,000 people quit smoking by the end of last year. As to their reasons for doing so, health worries ranked top in their list of concerns. Objection from family members came in second. Curiously, even after a more than 90% increase in tobacco duties over the last 5 years, money was last. Chan did not say whether the government would consider a tax hike for tobacco products in the near future. João da Silva, TVB News.
Manila Mayor Joseph Estrada is reportedly delaying his trip to Hong Kong, during which he would deliver an apology on behalf of his city over the 2010 bus hostage tragedy. Estrada originally planned to do so late this month or early next month. But media reports in the Philippines say more time is now needed in the negotiations with Hong Kong. Lawmakers here voted last night in favor of sanctions against the Philippines over the tragedy that killed 8 people from Hong Kong. And earlier this week, Chief Executive Lun Cheng-ying said the SAR will impose sanctions on the Philippines if talks between the two sides fail to show substantial progress within 1 month's time. The most powerful typhoon on the planet this year slammed directly into the Philippines today. Super Typhoon Haiyan battered the country's central region, leaving at least 4 people dead. Homes were ripped apart and the masses fled to safer grounds.
The moment Haiyan made landfall, it began pounding the Philippines with maximum sustained winds of more than 300 kilometers per hour. The Category 5 super typhoon bore down on the northern tip of Cebu province. Then its monstrous winds and waves lashed the island of Samar, where it killed a number of people in its wake. The storm then barreled onto Leyte Island, setting off landslides and knocking out power in one entire province. Hoping to save as many lives as possible, President Benigno Aquino warned residents to seek safer grounds. About 1 million people heeded that advice by evacuating from their homes along riverbanks, coastal villages, and mountain slopes. Hundreds of flights were suspended and mass transit was halted as the storm dumped torrential rains that ripped off iron roofs from houses and toppled trees. Several C-130 Air Force cargo planes, as well as dozens of military helicopters and planes, are all on standby and ready to assist those in need, along with the help of 20 Navy ships. Plus, relief goods are packaged and ready to be distributed. Haiyan has already been called one of the most powerful typhoons ever, and it's forecast to continue barreling through the country's central region today and tomorrow. It will then blow towards the South China Sea over the weekend, making its way towards Vietnam. Authorities expect widespread devastation and a significant loss of life.
Britain's intelligence chiefs told the country's lawmakers that international terror groups are having a field day because of leaks from former U.S. intelligence operative Edward Snowden. But at the United Nations, Brazil and Germany presented a resolution to the General Assembly urging all countries to extend internationally guaranteed rights to privacy, to include the Internet and other electronic communications. Alan Bookneer reports.
In London, it was an unprecedented joint public appearance by Britain's 3 top spy chiefs, likened by local media to a scene from a James Bond film. The head of the country's foreign spy agency said Snowden's leaks present a threat to international security.
They put our operations at risk. It's clear that our adversaries are rubbing their hands with glee. Al-Qaeda is lapping it up.
They added Snowden's disclosures have prompted them to consider being more open about what they do. But the head of the country's eavesdropping agency said parts of their work had to remain secret. He added they don't intend to sift through innocent emails.
I feel I have to say this. I don't employ the type of people who would do. My people are motivated by saving lives saving the lives of British forces on the battlefield. They're motivated by finding terrorists, serious criminals.
Meanwhile, at the United Nations, 2 countries reported to be victims of U.S. National Security Agency surveillance put forward a resolution to end excessive electronic surveillance and gross invasions of privacy. It was also revealed that Britain may have spied on the German parliament.
Today, there seem to be hardly any technical limitations for assessing, storing, or combining personal data. But should everything that is technically feasible also be allowed? Where do we draw the line between legitimate security interests and the individual right to privacy?
It's clear that in the absence of the right to privacy, there can be no true freedom of opinion and expression and no effective democracy.
While General Assembly resolutions are not legally binding, they are meant to reflect world opinion and carry moral and political weight. Alan Bookniat, TVB News.
U.S. President Barack Obama vows that if Iran halts advances on its nuclear program, Washington would ease some of its economic sanctions on Tehran. But he also insists on keeping core sanctions in place if the Iranians go back on their word.
We can provide them some very modest relief, but keeping the sanctions architecture in place, keeping the core sanctions in place, so that if it turned out during the course of the 6 months when we're trying to resolve some of these bigger issues, that they're backing out of the deal, they're not following through on it, or they're not willing to go forward and finish the job of giving us assurances that they're not developing a nuclear weapon, we can crank that dial back up.
Delegates of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council plus Germany started another round of nuclear talks with Iran yesterday. The Iranian delegation is headed by Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif. While the world powers hope to secure a nuclear deal with Iran, both sides say an agreement is far from certain.
The U.S. has warned Israel that it could face a third Palestinian uprising and deepening international isolation if Washington-brokered peace talks fail. American Secretary of State John Kerry made those comments in an interview on Israeli TV. He's in the region this week to try to get the negotiations back on track.
The alternative to getting back to the talks is the potential of chaos. I mean, does Israel want a third intifada? I believe that if we do not resolve the issues between Palestinians and Israelis, if we do not find a way to find peace, there will be an increasing isolation of Israel. There will be an increasing campaign of delegitimization of Israel that has been taking place on an international basis.
More problems for the embattled mayor of Toronto, who's already admitted to smoking crack cocaine when he was in a drunken stupor. A video posted on a local newspaper's website shows Rob Ford in a rambling, obscenity-laced rage, threatening to murder someone and poke his eyes out. The context of the video is unknown, and it's not clear who the target of Ford's wrath is. Following the release of the video, Ford told reporters he was extremely inebriated at the time and was embarrassed by it. The rant deepened concerns among critics that he's not fit to lead Canada's largest city, but Ford continues to reject calls for him to step down.
And still ahead in our newscast, arrest over deadly Shanxi explosions. Locally, more concerns about foreign labor. And Tottenham advance in the Europa League.